You know, he taught the late great Michael Jackson how to moonwalk.
Allegedly.
According to him, allegedly, you know, that's what's in the book, you know. So, and a lot of critics are saying that he's making these ironic and strange statements in order to sell the book. That may or may not be true, but whatever the case may be, Bobby need to quit it. He need to quit it. There was a big court battle, folks.
Annie.
There was a big court battle, folks, with their estate, you know, regarding the Houston estate, and we was just talking on it and talking about it a little bit, you know. When Whitney passed, you know, Bobby Christie got X amount of dollars, let's say $2 million, which is a percentage of her overall estate, and she was to get another percentage a couple of years later when she turned 25, and she was scheduled to get it all by the age of 30. But unfortunately, she died an untimely death, and there was some turmoil with her significant other, husband, or boyfriend, whatever you want to call it, gentleman. On point, what was that gentleman's name, the young man?
I forget his name. Something Gordon. Chris Gordon.
Our producer's gonna tell us his name so we can get that right.
Nick Gordon.
Nick Gordon, thank you. Okay, so there was some turmoil in the family between Whitney, Bobby Christie's estate and Nick Gordon, and there was a lot of turmoil with Bobby, and there always was, you know, unfortunately. Right. So now that Bobby Christie is no longer with us, Nick Gordon is no longer with us, and that bumbling Bobby, he's still around. Before during the days of New Edition, he's out. I'm sure he's out of one of the projects. Was it Baltimore or Cleveland or?
I think Baltimore.
Baltimore, okay. They come out of one of the projects back east there, and they had a real big hit with Telephone Man, Mr. Telephone Man, and a couple of Candy Girl. They had a couple of big hits, and they were really doing it for a while. But some folks say Bobby got too big for his britches. He went solo. And as a solo artist, he might have had one or two top five. LAG, did he have?
Bobby had hits.
He had hits.
He had hits. When he went solo?
I can't even say, dude, Bobby had major hits.
Okay, all right.
That first album he put out solo was a banger. He had hits on there.
Okay. Well, in your opinion, what happened the last few years with Bobby? He just seemed he was fighting with his ex-wife family, and then he was having all kind of financial problems. I mean, I guess those kind of things happen, but what is your take on that, On Point?
Drugs.
Okay.
To keep it simple, I think Bobby never recovered from his just overwhelming use of drugs.
Okay.
So when it came down to like him being able to manage his estate or himself, he couldn't even manage himself.
Much less his financing estate.
Right, okay. Right. So I mean, he was just a mess all the way around after those drugs got him.
And he went from bad to worse.
He went from bad to worse to, man, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Okay. LAG, let me get your take on that right now. As far as we know they're fighting. I mean, they're not fighting anymore because he doesn't have any from. Our producer did a little research, and Bobby Brown doesn't have any legal claims to any of the estates of his ex-wife or his daughter. Which might be a good thing because of the way he was handling his own finances. I mean, when you go from the powder to the good powder to the medium-sized powder to cracking a pipe, I mean,
Right.
Yeah,
right.
so things are going downhill fast,
Well, Bobby is Bobby, and we all know about Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna be Bobby.
Right.
But it's more about, do you think that he was entitled to some of the money from Bobby Christina?
From his daughter, okay.
From his daughter.
Well,
that's a hard one. A hard one.
I mean, if he's the legitimate, he is the father, and if he raised and take care of her along with his ex-wife, most of the kid's life, and she grew up with him as his father, and they had I don't know what kind of relationship they had. I've been told by someone, one of you gentlemen was telling me they had a rocket relationship. The father and daughter had a rocket.
I mean, yeah, Bobby Christina and Bobby Brown, they had a rough relationship as far, and I don't think it was more. I don't think it was necessarily they had a bad relationship. It's just that Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston had a rough relationship after they separated.
Yeah,
and Bobby Christina was so close to her mom.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's what I really think it was. I think she was influenced by Whitney Houston's relationship with Bobby Brown.
I see. Okay, because they had a very when I say they, I mean Bobby and Whitney had a very rocky relationship toward the end.
Right.
You know, it got nasty. It got public and nasty, and paparazzis all around taking pictures and when they throwing things and saying things. According to our producers, Bobby Brown got what was left of the first $2 million. We don't know what was left, but whatever was left, he got it, which means the D-Man wound up with it, unfortunately.
That's what I'm about to say. It's gone. That's gone.
But you know, about the rocky relationships, I think mostly everybody got a rocky relationship with Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobby got a rocky relationship
with himself. That was the whole problem.
Okay. Was it ego? What was it going on? I mean, he's arrogant, a cocky.
Yes,
I think it was all of that and more with the drugs too.
Okay, made it
Bobby's
worse.
gonna be Bobby.
He was reckless.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you know, as far as like him leaving New Edition and starting his own solo group, in my opinion, Bobby Brown was the most talented one
Of that group?
Okay. You know, Bobby, Johnny.
Johnny Gill, right?
Johnny Gill, right.
Okay.
So I think him knowing that, you know, his ego just blew up, and the drugs didn't help, of course.
Right. Well, I do know that was speaking of turbulent relationships, things with the members of New Edition was really, really bad, physically bad between Bobby and a few of the guys. You know, unfortunately, they didn't really hurt each other too bad, but it got physical on more than one occasion. And from reliable sources, Bobby was at fault.
I would have put hands on Bobby Brown, man. I saw the movie. You know what I'm saying? I would have put hands on Bobby Brown.
I hear you.
You know, we just said that Bobby might have been the talented one. I think Bobby was the most showcasing one. He had more of the it factor, that he was more of a showman.
Gotcha.
Right.
But I wouldn't say he was the most talented one, because just think if Ralph would have left back then.
Ralph did leave, though. He had a solo career.
But it wasn't as good, because about that time he left, Bobby was already out. And so, but if he would have left first and did his thing.
When you say out, you mean he was out making records, doing well, making top tens?
Bobby was
already out, and Bobby was more of a showman.
Okay.
That's one thing about him. He knew how to get out in front and please the crowd more than Ralph and the rest of them. But as far as when it came to their singing, Ralph's vocals was New Edition. So his vocals was just
until Johnny Gill came.
Yeah, to Johnny came. But also, we said New Edition before, he came, that, he had that Michael Jackson kind of same little
What's Ralph's last name?
Trasvent.
Say it again?
Ralph Trasvent.
Trasvent.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And he, vocally speaking, he was strong for that group, correct?
He was like the lead singer kind of
that group.
Okay.
And that's what Bobby didn't like. He felt that he should have been out front. But like I said, Bobby was more of a showman than Ralph was.
Bobby's gonna get on the ground and start humping the ground and
taking off his clothes and everything. So he was more of a showman than the rest of them. But I would say, because also when Bobby was dead, I can't remember what song it was. Bobby did have a lot of hits.
Hits.
Okay. But one of the songs that they couldn't find Bobby to finish one of these songs on his solo album, they brought Ralph in to sing for Bobby to finish the song, because he couldn't finish it. So I would say Ralph was just as talented as Bobby, but Bobby was more of a showman.
I mean, for real, they all could say. Well, I don't think Michael Bivins, he wasn't no singer.
Well, him or
Ronnie.
Ronnie.
Yeah, they wasn't singers.
They wasn't singers.
Okay,
but
they were musicians more or less.
No,
or they were just friends of these guys that got together. They right place at the right time.
They were talented in their own way. Like Michael Bivins was the producer of New Edition.
Okay.
Kinda, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And Boys to Men, ABC, and all that.
He
Michael
learned-
Bivins was a genius.
He learned the business side.
He learned the business.
He had
Ronnie-
sense enough to learn the business side of
And
the
he was a
business.
member of the group, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Ronnie was just there. He was just there.
He was a friend.
Well, yeah, they
Yeah,
always
he was
friends.
talented. I mean, because you know when BBD came out, Ronnie was in that group, and
Is that Bill B. DeVoe or something like
Bell
that?
Biv DeVoe, right?
Okay.
So when they came out, you know, they all contributed, and that they had hits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Bell Biv DeVoe had hits. Well, I give him about maybe three.
Okay.
I give him three major, but those was smash hits. Though,
Gotcha.
you know what I'm saying?
They made it within the top 10, well into the top 10.
Man, they had
Okay.
hits. Those songs they had, but you know, I don't know. I think for me personally, I think the best singer in New Edition was probably Johnny
Johnny Gill?
Gill.
LAG, what are your thoughts on that? Would you agree with that, or would you say it was a toss-up between he and Bobby?
No, I think that they all played their part. That's what made them so
Ricky
so
Bell
great.
was a hell of a singer too.
And,
What was his name?
Ricky Bell.
Okay.
He was a hell
I
of a
think
singer.
that they all did their part. That's what made New Edition
A success.
a success.
Okay.
And but you know the ones that could go solo, of course, was Raph, you know, Bobby and Johnny Gill.
Raph went solo also?
Yes.
Okay.
But what I was saying is just that Bobby outshined him because he was a more of a front guy, a performer. And then by the time Raph finally got a chance to get out and to do his thing on his own,
Bobby was killing the game.
Bobby was killing the game. That's why I was saying that I couldn't say that if he would have left earlier, he might
I
have
think
could have
Bobby
did
still would
it.
have outshined Ralph, man.
Yeah, because he was more of a showman.
Yeah, I think he would have outshined him regardless.
I knew he could dance real well. I do know that. I
They
don't know
all
the
could
game.
dance.
Oh, they
all
all
of
could
them
dance?
could dance. Yeah,
Okay.
you can't. Yeah, they can all dance.
Yeah.
But I just think Bobby Brown, he's
His personality.
His personality
He was
was
more of a
way
showman.
up there, right.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
more of a showman. But what I'm saying is Ralph was just as talented as him because that's why he was the lead singer
Okay.
and stuff. But if he would have left
Before?
Bobby or went on his own, then he might have been bigger. But after you didn't heard Johnny, and then you didn't heard Bobby with 2-3 albums, and
You don't wanna hear Ralph.
and then you didn't. Ralph wasn't that big a deal no more because you didn't already heard the rest of them, and they was.
I give Ralph two good songs, and they wouldn't even hits like that.
I know, not like, but he wasn't a showman like.
He
Bobby.
could do all Ralph could do is that spin, boy. He had that spin down pat.
Yeah, well, they
That was
all
a dance
had
move on
this-
the
Yeah.
Okay.
He had that spin, but that's it.
Yeah, and I think like also too, it was his choice of music that he did too.
Man, with
the writing and stuff.
sensitivity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and nobody didn't really want to hear that. But if he would have came out being Bobby played
Well, he couldn't do
his
that.
game up, yeah. But
Right.
Bobby played with my prerogatives.
Yeah.
You know, I'm nasty. And, you know, he played who he
Do
was.
what I wanna do.
Yeah, you know. So he played his thing. You know, he played
Yeah,
Jimmy
Ralph-
Jam and Terry Lewis.
Ralph couldn't come out and do what Bobby was doing.
Exactly, because Bobby was really living like that. So Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis was able to come out and write what them guys was doing.
Right.
So that's what made them a great writer too, like they did Janet. You know,
Gotcha.
she wanted her own control away from Joe Jackson.
Right, right.
And they had them guys come in and write what they felt, and they made songs about that. So they had them guys, Bobby and so on, Janet, you know, to come out and put the music to what they was really feeling, where they was lifing. And I think that's what made Bobby, other than him being a great showman, stand out so much more.
Because he was wild.
Because he was wild, and he sung like he was wild. His songs matched his personality.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm with you now. What I'm going to interject right quick, folks, and I do let you know once again who we are. My name is Jake Broom, and I'm here with On Point, Kendall Davis, and the LAG. And we want you to thank you. Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys for joining us and joining us here each and every Friday night. You know, we want you to subscribe, like, and share. You know,
And hit that bell and tell a friend. And Urban Solution is brought to you by It's a New Thing Apparel, Urban Privilege, On point. And don't give up. And make sure you log on in and get you some gear. You know, as they say, don't swear it, wear it.
That's right.
You know, and get ready for Black Friday and the holiday season. We got special stuff coming up. And make sure you tell a friend. And make sure you catch any of the other shows that we have, because we have shows all week long. So make sure you get us on the YouTube or Facebook Live or IG, Urban Solution. And any artists out there that have music, send it in MP3 form to urban.solutionfm@gmail and get on the air. And look out for our packages that we have. And we'd love to have you to be a guest on the show. And if you have anything that you want us to talk about or you want to comment about it, hit us up in that box and let us know.
Thank you, guys. Now back on the subject, On Point.
Yes.
One of those guys done real well for himself. He got a couple of beautiful homes, couple of nice cars. He never lost any jewelry. He never got in trouble from New Edition. Which one is that now? The one who done well for himself after New Edition, who handled his money well, I'm trying to say.
From New Edition?
Yeah, from New Edition. One of the got a couple of big nice houses.
I don't know. From New Edition.
Yeah.
If it was anybody, I would say it had to be Michael Bivins.
Michael Bivins. Okay, that's the one who kind of got a good hit on his shoulder.
Right. That's the one who he started producing a lot of different. He discovered Boys to Men.
Okay, got you. Okay.
And started managing a lot of
groups.
And,
Okay.
And
Boys to Men was a big success too a few years after New Edition.
Right.
Okay.
Boys to Men, ABC was huge. You know, another bad creation, and then they had another group. I forget who it was.
Now was
BBD.
Bell Beat the
Yeah,
Vote.
Bell
Okay.
Beat the Vote.
Okay.
That was Michael Bivins' thing.
Okay. Do you remember who those guys was in BVD?
Michael Bivins, Ronnie DeVoe, and Ricky Bell.
the other half of they was New Edition.
Okay,
Right.
Gotcha. They started their own project.
Without Bobby and Raph and Johnny Gill.
Right.
Okay.
Because they all went solo.
Right. Johnny Gill done well. He became a successful.
Johnny Gill
after,
did good.
Yeah.
You know,
He
still
always
doing
did
his thing.
good.
Yeah,
He
was
always
successful
did good.
before New Edition.
Oh, okay. Now there was one of them called, and I get confused, so I'm gonna need you guys' help on it. 40 million. He's worth 40 million. Okay, our producer just informed us, folks, that Johnny Gill,
Michael Bivins.
Michael Bivins is worth 40 million. So that means he's straight. He's eating well, you know. And hats off to him.
He robbed Boys to Men and them.
Allegedly, folks. He allegedly. So and,
He took their money.
one of the guys, I don't call his name, and
Why they laughing?
who's the guy? Babyface? Was he with one of them groups or no?
No, Babyface was in a group back in the day.
Yeah, he was in some group, but I don't know who he was.
Yeah.
It wasn't
The
none
Deal.
of them.
What was it called?
His group was called The Deal, but he didn't have nothing to do with New Edition.
No.
Okay, that was just a different. Okay,
Yeah, New Edition was New Edition. That's the people we just named.
Gotcha.
That's
Okay.
all that
all
was,
right.
that was there.
So now Bobby has been reduced to selling books with a lot of innuendos and
I don't wanna read
false
no Bobby
claims.
Brown book.
Well, no, neither do we. I mean, a couple of weeks ago we were discussing some of the nonsense that's in the book. You know, we pulled up a couple of quotes in the books, and even LAG was brought up a couple of points he made that was beyond ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I wouldn't even want to read that.
Well, it tells us that he's struggling. He needs a little financial. He's grabbing at straws, trying to get back on his feet, more or less.
I think that if he had a reality show, not to sell the books,
Okay.
but if he had a show, something like Did You Know, and he told some of these stories, I think they would be very interesting because he was a
He
wild
got some
character.
stories.
That's what I'm saying. But not enough that make us want to run out and buy
Buy
a
that
book.
Right.
Because then it's like he's doing it to make money off of
right,
it.
right.
But if he was sitting at the table, the Kings of the Round Table, every Friday
right.
night with us,
Right.
it would be interesting for him to
Yeah.
tell
Uh-huh.
some of the stuff that you would have no idea that he done because he done so much
Right. Foolishness. Yeah.
that it would be good, but not enough for us to go, I want to go read this book.
Well-
And then it's like, is he making it up?
Well, that's what
not?
On Point just said. He wouldn't
But
spend
you know-
even if it was too
Oh yeah,
hard.
I'm not reading about that.
No,
I'm not doing that.
no.
I'm not gonna waste my time
No.
with that. But you know, Bobby, I remember I know you remember Ja Rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
He
Ja
was with
Rule right before
Murder Inc.
Murder Inc. Right.
Yeah.
When they was about to take their downfall, Bobby Brown, that's when he like got out of jail or something. But
They did a song
Yeah,
together.
they did a song together, and I was like,
Ja Rule and Bobby Brown did.
They did a song together. I watched
Yeah,
the video.
up
I
on the
said,
rooftop.
Bobby Brown is high as a kite right now.
On stage.
On the video.
Well,
on the
they
video.
on a rooftop.
Yeah.
On a rooftop.
Talking about he a thug loving or something like that. I was like, Bobby, you are high, obviously high. You know, come on.
Was it the success of the duo that they did together?
No.
But neither was the ones that he did even with Whitney. He did one or two with Whitney. They wasn't.
They didn't make it in the top 20.
I forget the name of that song too.
Yeah, that's how it was. It wasn't nothing that you.
Got you. Okay. Well, didn't he go to? Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he go to Tokyo with Tyson when he fought Buster Douglas or not?
That's what they say. He was there with Tyson, you know, with the prostitutes and up all night. That's why Tyson didn't win that fight.
We're not blaming anything on you, Bobby. Tyson lost. He lost. Well, I mean, he's an adult. If he know he got a big fight, you know whether Buster Douglas would consider competition or not.
Everybody lose when they mess with Bobby Brown.
Well put.
Yeah, that's how, what I'm saying. Like, as soon as he got with Ja Rule went down.
But see,
Tyson went down.
that's why.
Biggie went down.
If he was at this table, those stories would be good. Not in the book, but if he was here to talk about them. Because there would be a lot of interesting things that a lot of people didn't know.
I'm not reading no Bobby Brown. I feel like that would make me dumber. I'm not reading no Bobby Brown.
I know he got physically put out of his mention. I do know that. That was big news. Yeah, he got put out. He had a big. I don't know how many.
You mean Whitney's? One of Whitney's? Because I guess he lived with Whitney. They had two.
Yeah, well, he got put out of one of them.
And stuff. Probably had Whitney's.
Okay, so it wasn't even his man.
So, I mean, she supposed to go.
Right.
Her parents them came and locked up everything. You got to go.
Right. Took his pictures off the wall.
All of that.
You gotta go, brother.
Yeah, you got
Actually, this was his though. I'm not think he had a big. He lost a mention also. He lost one also. They put him out. Producer might check it out, but he got put out of a house also. With the city, the city came in. The city, federal march. The city came in and evicted him for back taxes or something.
You get put out of a mansion. Boy.
Yeah,
that's rough.
Yeah, he got put out of a mansion, and Vanilla Ice, I don't know his name, he got put out of an $11 million mansion down in Florida. They put him out. He had to go. He couldn't make the payments, you know. He had paid for the house, the land. It was his house, but you still have to pay the property taxes like once a year or 3 times a year, or however they do.
That's expensive.
Yeah, and he couldn't pay it, so he got put out of it. Evander Holyfield had the biggest house in the country. They say it was it was either 1,000 feet bigger or smaller than the White House, the actual White House in D.C. Big old house, took about 3 blocks in Atlanta. They put him out. They physically removed him, and they kept all the stuff. They kept everything.
Yikes.
Yeah, they wouldn't let him take nothing out of the house. So they auctioned it all off. He still didn't wind up paying everything.
These
he
drones
had
belong to the city.
He had one that was massive though.
It was 2 million. His mom had the one that was across the street.
A few blocks down.
Yeah. Well, it was. Can't say blocks because it was just their land. That road, it was just their mansion.
They lost that one also.
I think that one went before his because his mom passed, and I think he sold that one. And then his was the bigger one and stuff. I mean, hers was big too.
Right.
And she stayed it might have been on the same property, but it was farther down. I remember that one. He lost that one first before his.
Well, one of the guys, and you fellas, especially you on point, you would know better than me. Nelly or someone bought it for like $5 million.
Oh, I don't know.
Either Nelly or some singer, 2 Chainz or somebody. I don't know who bought it, but one of them, Rick Ross or someone.
It might have been what's the one that do the voice, T-Pain or something, or somebody like that.
They bought it for like $5 million, but he put like 60. He purchased it for like $60 million.
And for a steal.
Yeah. They got it. The city of Atlanta wanted, whatever they can get for it, and they got it for like $5 million, and they still own it, living in it to this day. So everyone in that rap game or in the music game or who come up on a lot of money is not, we all know about the old saying, "Fool and his money will soon part." But some of those guys had a decent head on their shoulders, Now, I love them or hate him. The guy, what they call him, Rick Ross. They said he's a scrupulous character from what other artists are saying, but he's done well for himself.
Still doing well.
Yeah.
And I think also it was the one you said like $5 million. I think 50 Cent bought Tyson's.
He did. Yep.
Okay.
Like
Bought
that was
Tyson's
like
house.
five.
Like $5 million also.
Yeah,
Okay.
his mansion and stuff that when he wanted to get out of there and he needed money.
Yeah, somebody bought MC Hammer's house too.
He been broke so long. He been broke a long time. Matter of fact, I remember when this was maybe 15 years ago. He ate at a 5-star restaurant with a couple of. He just happened to meet a couple of girls. He was going to get something to eat anyway, but he met a couple of girls. He's showing off. He went to this restaurant in Vegas, but not the regular restaurant. It was like a 5-star restaurant, and but they had comped him a few times at that MGM Grand. As a matter of fact, they had comped him a few times because he had played there, so they comped him. But when he went to this particular restaurant within the MGM Grand, they did not comp him, and there was an issue there. Yeah, so he didn't get arrested, but there was an issue. So
And see, and also them guys broke is not our broke. You know, when they broke,
Right.
that mean that they don't have millions no more.
Right.
But they
Right.
still have money. They ain't homeless.
Right,
You
okay.
know, we always say broke, and we talking about Holyfield. We talking about
I got you.
Mike Tyson, and we talking about MC Hammer.
They're working. They're not working, man. Bro.
They're broken still. They still got $50,000, $100,000.
Right. Which is broke for them.
It's for
Okay.
them.
No, they still
Right.
got money.
So they still got enough to they can get up and fly whenever they want to or do something. So when we say broke, we got to make sure that we
Not as much as what they had.
it's
Nowhere near as much as what they had. They wouldn't have lost those properties.
But think about, I mean, if you got $60 million and you lose $60 million, you lose $50 million. You still got $10 million. You know what I'm saying? That's not broke. You just took a major hit. You know, that's not broke. You're still doing what you want. You know, my broke is I need can I get this 4 for 4 from Wendy's? You know,
I understand, but now to counter that, a lot of guys. Let's just say what he just said. Some of them guys who got 60 million and they lose 50, but you don't really have 10 when you still living the way you was living when you had the 50 million. That's how they wind up losing the house and cars.
You're gonna get kicked out your mansion.
Yeah.
You're getting kicked out. But I'm saying you're not going to the projects.
You ain't
No,
going to
no.
no
I mean,
shelter.
you can
ain't
get your
sleeping
hand on. Yeah,
You
you
ain't
can put.
sleeping on no park bench.
No, you can get your hands on maybe a couple $100,000. You know.
Yeah, buy a house, write on cash. You know.
Yeah, a small house, but and a lot of those guys, falling from grace is not nothing new.
No.
I mean, you don't have to fall as hard as David Ruffin did, but he had a serious drug habit. Just for an example. When you say sleeping on a park bench, he had lost everything.
Well, when
Rick James,
Yes, Rick James as well.
Well, both of them, David Ruffin, when they dropped him off at the hospital, he had over like $100,000 in a briefcase. So he had money. Rick James still owned all his rights to Motown stuff. Barry Gordy's son was his manager, so he took a lot of his money. So I wouldn't say that them guys was broke. It's the same thing, that they still had money or had
Who took
assets.
a lot of? What did you say that last point?
Barry Gordy's son was Rick James' manager, like guarding he still. One thing about Rick, he still owned all his rights to his records, and he would never go broke because MC Hammer had to pay him for it. Don't touch that. So when we said broke, it's a different broke. Like
I
you're
understand.
saying. He still had access to
off that Hammer.
more money all the time while he was in jail. He was getting paid them royalties checks from Hammer, and as long as Hammer or Rick wrote that music, they was gonna get paid.
You get a royalty
You
check.
get a royalties check. So just because they don't live in that big mansion, all that, they still had money. Now a difference from those guys that we just named, when you Arnold Willis, when you a security guard at a mall. That's broke.
Gary Coleman.
Gary Coleman. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
broke. Right.
And we
right.
didn't see Tyson or Hammer or Rick James doing none of that.
Right.
So we got to make that clear. When we say broke, it ain't that broke.
I agree. Okay,
You
I
know
understand.
what I'm saying? When you working at a mall.
Broke.
Yeah, he was.
See, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what we were saying, like Ruddick Bowe and, and all this.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God.
Mr. Universe.
Yeah.
You know, sleeping in cars.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a little.
Yeah, the only reason Riddick Bowe, you know, the heavyweight champ,
yeah.
the only reason he wasn't homeless because he had did so much for the state of New York. To the place he was living, they just let him have that apartment, that one apartment. They didn't want the bad publicity, so they didn't throw him out. But he was literally down in the village at the flea market signing at $5 for the autograph. He had a bunch of Riddick Bowe pictures when he was a champ, and he'll sign it right there in front of you for $5. So he at the flea market doing that. Now that was all the way broke. But I also want to throw out there, and this is factual. This is not conjecture or rumors. Riddick Bowe had a serious crack problem. Serious
A
drug
lot
problem.
of people did in the 80s to the 90s. I mean, most of them do.
But
if it's not crack, it's alcohol. It's just as bad.
Right. Well, if you can do a few lines, you might be okay. If you get somebody to bring you some decent powder, you can still function. When you reach that level where you buying a $20 piece and you put it on a pipe, you in trouble.
Yeah,
say no to drugs, kids.
Yes, say no to drugs by all means.
Yeah, you know, when you hooked on whatever drug it is, you know, weed, cocaine, pills, syrup, alcohol, it's a downward fall. No matter what it is that they all
It's
consider a drug. It's an addiction.
Yeah.
And once you have that, it's only one way down. You know, and
It don't even gotta be drugs. Like an addiction is an addiction. It'll fuck you up.
it could be gambling.
Right.
You know, or you know,
Anything.
or prostitute shit.
Right. It
or
could be
something,
shopping.
you know, and stuff, shopping, and you know, as we know, like I said, it's so many people that we could put in that category. Like they was saying, Michael was broke when he died. You know,
Was he?
and that's what they was trying to say.
Michael
But Michael
who?
Jackson, yeah.
Shit.
But that's what I'm saying, because he didn't have all the millions or the billions that he once had. So he was considered broke, but he always could do something. That's why they were saying he was doing
Mike owned
that
the Beatles.
concert.
He wouldn't. Mike was up.
Yeah, well, they were saying about the time he died, he had sold a lot of that catalog.
A portion of it.
A portion of that.
Yeah, he sold a portion of it.
catalog.
But I can't imagine him ever going broke. I mean, with
No.
But see, that's what they, that's what I'm
Right,
saying.
right.
So their broke is a different
Right.
broke from
where you did.
what we say. That's why they say he was doing them shows. He didn't want to perform those shows that this was it concert because he was in debt and they was gonna pay him 50, 60 million or something to do those shows. And you know that he really didn't want to do it, but that's why he was coming back to make up some of the money
Yeah.
Right.
that
Well-
he had lost.
Well, your example a few moments ago was speaking of on point. It was definitely on point about Garrett Coleman. He literally worked at the Paramount lot as a security
Right,
guard.
security guard.
So that's like a blue collar worker, less than a blue collar worker. I mean, it's good, hard, honest work. Understand me? It's a good, decent job for to make a living, to put food on the table. But that's a long ways.
When you was Gary Coleman.
Yes,
And now
yes.
you Gary
Yes,
Coleman.
but now you know his parents had a lot to do with his money when he was younger. Now,
Right.
he really did fail. When he died broke. Matter of fact, there was several stars.
Webster broke.
No,
too.
he's done well for himself. No, you're talking about the young man who played Webster. No, he's not nowhere near broke. He's an executive right now somewhere in California.
I forget his name.
His name is Emmanuel
Lewis.
Lewis.
Right.
Emmanuel Lewis.
I think he did.
Okay, our producer just said worked at a model
train store.
Like in a
Garrett
mall.
Coleman, okay,
He was
yeah.
like in a mall, and that's where he struck the lady that asked her for the autograph.
Yeah, got in more trouble.
And caught a court case. The lady asked him for an autograph.
That'll piss me off.
And he wanted him to say, he said, "What you talking about?" And he punched
Well,
her.
speaking of which, Todd Bridges could have gotten out of jail for $2,500.
That show got jacked up.
Oh yeah, it was a mess.
Even the girl.
You talking about Dana Plato?
Yeah,
she died broke. She unfortunately she committed suicide. She was broke, but Todd Bridges needed $2,500, which is really not a lot of money to get out of jail. But he had to stay in jail 6 months but he had a serious. Speaking of drug problems, he had a serious drug problem as well, and he did a couple of little B movies that he might have got 50 or 60 grand for. But if you got a serious drug problem, 50 grand is not a lot of money. If you got a serious drug problem and you doing it every day.
I'm not even rich, and you give me 50 grand. You
Right.
can spend 50 grand
Yeah.
literally in like a couple days, for real, for real.
Yeah, so he was struggling here. A couple years back, he was on some kind of silly, one of those little shows a few years back, but he was in a lot of debt then. He was in debt then with his, when you borrowing money against your paycheck, you in trouble, you know.
And Ty Bridges started doing good though. He had started being on producing, and he was on the show with Terry Crews.
Yes, he was.
And Arnold, what's her name? Arnold something, the one from House Parties. From House Party.
Letitia Arnold?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was on he had a part on that, so he was getting, some.
Where is he now? What happened? I know last I heard he was doing bad, so I don't know if that's still the case. Yes. Is he back on his feet?
Well, last thing I saw Ty Bridges doing, he was like doing commentary on some comedy show.
Yeah. Dumb Criminals.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was still working. So
he's still working.
Yeah, so he was doing good.
Get your
Like
money,
I said,
brother.
he had that. He was on that show, so that was money right there. Every time it was doing it, like I said, with
About 35, 40 grand a month, I'm assuming. They're just an educated guess.
Probably a show.
Yeah, per show, 30,
Yeah,
40,000,
so you
maybe
coming
30.
on, coming on every week.
Yeah, about 30 grand a week, maybe 40 grand a week. Because some of the bigger shows that I found out, they making like a 105,000 a show. Some of the bigger shows, and it's a lot of money to you and I, but for those guys who living in Hollywood,
like the characters are from Friends, they were
Like
making
millions,
millions
like
every
a
show.
million. Yeah.
okay,
Every show.
But those in Seinfeld, but those was the top.
yeah, top of the line,
Top of the
Okay.
line shows
Okay.
and characters. So it depends, but it all depends on how you spend your money and
I agree.
what you do
I
with
fully
it.
agree. It's
And
you know,
to make it last. 'Cause you have some people that's on those shows and it lasts with them. They never have to do anything else. They can live off of them, and they never was able to sign their rights away. You know, I mean, we could go on and on like Red Fox, how
Yeah.
he,
Got in
got
trouble.
rid of all of his stuff, was in trouble, and he never got
Tax
paid
trouble.
for Sanford and Son. Even the great Sammy Davis Jr.
Right.
When he passed away, he didn't have no money.
right. He died broke. Now he really did die broke.
Yeah, and you would never think that
I
him
know.
of all people would lose his money. Great as he was, one of the hardest working men in show
Right.
business. He did everything.
What was it, drugs?
He got off them a long time ago.
It was just.
I think it was management and taxes and a couple of ex-wives what did him in. And they did a collection on the strip, on the Las Vegas Strip, to bury him, to take up money for his funeral, because that was on sad
funny
day.
for back in the day.
Yeah, it was pretty sad. It happened. I can't remember. I remember there when it happened. I can't remember if it was 91, 92 or what, but I remember when they turned the lights out for 30 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever. They turned on the lights off as a tribute when he died. But he did die broke, and actually he died poor man broke. When he died poor man. What you say, four for four? Yeah, he died really broke.
Right.
Yeah, and as did Gary Coleman. Now Dana Plato died broke also, but she had a serious drug addict
She looked bad.
up until the end, up until it ran away from the rehab place, and she did it so many times that they wouldn't take her, and then the lower level rehab place wouldn't take her. So when you get to them real lower level rehab houses, drugs are all in them places because they don't have the proper, the proper security that could regulate things like those high end rehab places
I
can
think
do.
her son passed away.
Yes, he committed suicide as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dana Plato's son committed suicide, and after that, I don't know, maybe a year and a half or 2 years later, she committed suicide.
So yeah, it wraps back around from her to Whitney and Bobby Christina. Man, like money don't mean nothing.
I hear you.
It could come, it could go, it could make you. It definitely ain't gonna make you happy. Look
The
at Robert
Beatles
Williams.
said it years ago. Money don't buy you love. You got to have the right people that surround you, that's love you and gonna tell you the truth and not sugarcoat nothing and really help you.
Right,
You
right.
can't have the people around you that they're gonna disable you and
Enablers, yeah.
yeah, enablers that's gonna just tell you what you want to hear or what's gonna keep you around. And that brings us around to all our Trump supporters.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
that's telling you stuff that
Yeah, he's done.
So we're gonna switch the subject. So what do y'all think about this so-called commander-in-chief not wanting to leave? You think he should be evicted?
I would love to see him get dragged out of that office. I would love to see that. It's not gonna happen. Right. I think eventually he's not gonna concede. He's gonna leave the office.
But he's never gonna concede.
He's not gonna concede.
Okay, he's too arrogant. Okay,
right.
Gotcha.
But he's an idiot, man.
Beyond
everybody around him is an idiot, and anybody that enables his actions, you know. What I'm saying?
Right. It makes us look like clown in front of the free world, you know.
Right. I'm glad he's about to.
Do you think that the people of America realize that we can't get nobody else in office like that, or you think that the Trump supporters learn from the things that he's doing, like how I think today was the first day that he came out and spoke. Since he's been pouting, he haven't even said anything about the epidemic, you know, the COVID-19, right. or doing anything to help the people. It's all about him. He's lost, so he's mad. He's pouting. He just gave up on the people that voted him. You know, even though the ones that didn't vote for him, what about the ones that did support you? You didn't just quit on them too?
So your question is, will there be another guy like this that the Americans public is willing to vote for? Is that the question?
Yes.
Yes, there will be. Yes, they most definitely will be, because the guy got 70 million votes.
Right.
You know.
Right.
This clown got 70 million votes.
And people know who he
is. Yes.
Like, he don't hide who he is.
Right. So there, yes. If someone pick up that nonsense, someone like Ted Cruz, or Lindsey Graham, they're gonna vote for him. All of these. I don't want to say Proud Boys, because there's a lot of ordinary folks who not even affiliated with any racist organization. Like this guy for whatever reason. For whatever reason, they like this guy.
So you think you can see people voting for people like Kanye then?
Yes. Oh, he got it. They did. He got there was a special on him a couple of days ago. He got, I can't remember how many votes he got, but he got a lot of votes there. And the state said they let him get on the ballot at. Our producer just letting us know Kendall?
He's holding still the vote rallies to get donations to pay off his election debt.
Yes, he's holding rallies to get money.
He's squeezing every little bit of change that he can from his supporters. That's really unfortunate, because I mean, like you said, he got over 70 million votes, and he's gonna leave out of office. Like, that's inevitable. One way or the other.
One way or the other. Yes.
But the thing is, like, there is no defense fund. You know, what are you giving money for? He's lost every court case.
Battle, yes, which shouldn't have been filed in the first place. But
he'll file a court case.
Yes, but this is also uncharted water, guys. No one has ever done any nonsense like this before. Now,
well, not the way he did it. It have been people that didn't want to concede and waited.
Not to this level.
No, well, ain't nobody ever did anything that this guy did.
Yeah,
he didn't broke the barrier. You know, the mold, the shit that he done. Ain't nobody done.
Let's say I'm gonna play, as I say, the devil's advocate here. Now, let's say he don't leave. Now, we understand he's supposed to be out of there by the 20th of January, which is what, 68 days? I understand that. My question is, what if he don't go? What if Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump and Steven Mnuchin and all these other guys can't convince him, Mr. President, we have to leave? Okay, our producer just let us know, will he run again in 2024? That's a strong probability. You know, that's a strong probability, and there are people who will vote for him, just like people voted for Kanye West with his unstable ass. So my question, guys, is, we already know you can't physically touch a sitting president, and he is the president, and he'll be the president on the 19th. Now on the 20th, he won't be the 19th. So if he refused surrender to the White House, we know he's not going to concede. He'll never do that. He won't concede. But if he don't leave the White House, physically leave, and invite President-elect Biden and his wife in the way they have been doing it forever, what is going to be Nancy Pelosi's recourse?
They just have to have the Secret Service move him out.
No. He's at the Secret Service is only after the 20 they may have to.
They gonna have
They
to.
gotta have to because he ain't no longer the president. So
Right.
And
Okay.
I would love to see that.
Oh, as would I.
throwing his shit out on the
Man,
lawn. and shit.
No, they won't throw nothing out. They just throw him out physically. Our producer just told us that will he name Pence president?
That's what
to pardon him. Good question.
I think that's a strong possibility.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if he names Pence as president, then Mike Pence could give him a pardon, and he'll never go to jail.
Right. Well, he wouldn't go to jail anyway because we don't. When I say we,
Shit.
the Americans don't. If Nixon don't go to jail, no one is going to jail. They might send you. They might
But
send you.
Nixon left peacefully though.
Yeah,
Nixon retired, didn't he?
No,
No,
behind
he
closed
left.
doors.
He left.
They said, "Look, man, you got to give it up. You got to give it up, or we gonna have to lock
Nobody,
you up."
yeah, but nobody could convince Trump to do that. You
I
know
agree.
what I'm saying?
That's why we're saying that if he don't leave on the 19th, LAG is saying the Secret Service would have to throw him out. But I don't even know if Bill Barr will allow that. You know, he's the top cop. He's the top man there, and he's been a flunky of Trump.
He's gonna be gone too. The whole administration's
All
gone.
right, our producer just says, can he be pardoned for a crime he hasn't been convicted of? No. He can't be pardoned for because he hasn't been convicted of a crime yet.
But see, even if he
I hope they hold those laws.
he have a crime, he can't be convicted because he's the president. But once he's not the president, then they could bring up those things.
They already got it.
But
They
you know
waited
what?
out.
He is individual number one in a lot of cases.
Yes.
So, and in those cases, individual one is implicated in crimes.
Yeah, he talked about in the Mueller report several crimes he committed. But in addition to that, the Southern District of New York got several cases on him.
Right.
But they got to wait till he leave office.
But see, what he
Yes.
did was he replaced a lot of attorneys and judges in the Southern District of New York.
A couple of them.
Try to, he know what he's doing, but
Indeed.
bro, he's going to jail.
Well, just like
You think so?
I think so.
like in
Or I just really-
the District of New York, they already saying that he's mad and saying that he's gonna hold out the vaccine from New York.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
already
Oh,
saying
really?
that now. He's
I believe he will, though.
Oh, of course he'll try. If he,
So
if
they already mad at
He
him.
held
because of all
out
that.
federal emergency funds from California because the governor was talking mess about him, and they was having wildfires like just crazy.
And this governor we have here, the
Yeah.
governor of Washington, he don't like him.
He don't like him
They
at
got
all.
it. Yeah, they got into it several times. So I'm hoping, for the sake of decency in the free world, the guy just leave. He don't have to be today or tomorrow.
Decency, what's that?
But, I mean, for the sake of decency, just
since
leave.
he stepped in, that's all gone. Decency
Yeah,
is gone.
decency is gone.
We can't even use that word in the same sentence with his name no more. Because he ain't nothing decent about this dude.
Well, it'll really be
What he done? Nothing.
Kids in cages, man, that guy's an animal, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't stay in the White House because that's the people's house. That's the taxpayers' house.
Right.
That's the legitimate voters voted in Joe Biden, which means he has to leave. If he don't leave, it's never happened before, not to this extent. But so you're saying they're going to go in there and physically, sir, you got to come with.
They should.
I agree.
I would love to see that. Like, please, Trump. You can hold out, man. Hold out. Don't let him take you, Trump.
Not only that once after the 20th,
Okay.
the 20th, he ain't president. They need to call a taxi. Don't even let him use the taxpayers' money to get a limo or none of that. Let him go do like us and get a U-Haul, take his shit out.
I mean, because normally they're supposed to fly out in Marine One, the helicopter.
The
You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
yes.
But nah, don't let him
That's
do
what
that.
I said. Let him call the U-Haul
Yeah,
or
give him an
taxi. Let him go that way out.
Give him a lift.
No, he'll get Secret Service protection until the day he died.
Right.
And he'll also get like $400 grand a year until the day he died, being an ex-president. So you'll never see an ex-president a bum on the street. Now he might wind up in a mental hospital
Well,
somewhere.
no, of course, I don't think probably none of them are Congress. Once you hit the White House, you never see too many of them ever be.
No. You get X amount of dollars till the day you die. If you was elected once as the commander in chief, you get like $400,000 until the day you die. So a year, $400,000 a year to the day you die, and with a residence.
Yeah, all you gotta do is write another book, and the Trumpers buy it and support it, and he's a billionaire anyway. So even without that, he'll survive.
Yeah, but he's causing problem when he won't get a Biden administration information of what's going on around the world as far as our information goes, as far as the intelligence. What North Korea is doing, and what's going on in the Middle East with some of these factions, or what's going on with Russia, So he and a lot of Republican senators have already turned against him in that aspect, including Lindsey Graham, have already turned against him in that aspect.
We just need more of them to stand
Of
up
course.
and stop saying it behind closed
Right,
doors and
right.
come out and say that he should leave, and maybe that'll
Yeah.
push this project
Yeah.
on, forward, to get it going. But long as I think that he's in power, a lot of them is scared because he's known to be the bully of.
Oh, big time.
They got elections coming up too, though.
Important election. He's talking about the two down in Georgia, where it's going to dictate if the Democrats can take both houses.
Right.
If the Democrat can take both houses,
The Senate too.
yeah. They already have the House. They need the Senate, correct? Yeah.
Democrats have what?
The House. They already have the House. They need the Senate.
No, I think the Republicans are taking the House.
No. The Democrat has the House. The Republican has it.
Well, okay, they picked up more seats.
Yes, they're about to lose.
House. Right.
It's two offices down in the state of Georgia. Really important races.
They got the runoffs, right?
Yes.
Right.
If the Democrats win, if the two Democrats win, they would have the majority.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Be a tie.
And then Kamala Harris.
She would be the tiebreaker.
Yes. Which means it would go to the Democrats.
Right.
Yeah. But even before we even get to that, we know he's not going to concede. But he's supposed to leave, guys. He's supposed to pack up and go somewhere, to Mar-a-Lago or wherever, New York, Trump Tower in New York.
Don't let him take you, Trump.
He's supposed to leave.
Okay, so let's say this: if you had one thing that you would want to tell him right now about conceding and leaving, what would your words be?
I would say, Mr. President, it's over. It's over. Concede, bow out gracefully. Whether you mean it or not, just concede and bow out gracefully. You can cuss and knock a fool behind the scenes, but just bow out gracefully like all the other losing presidents before you. Show a little bit of class, a little bit of dignity.
What's that?
And just leave. Just bow out and leave.
Say that in the same sentence with his name. Now, what would you tell him, Kendall, if you had something to tell him?
Nigga, get out of office. I mean, nigga, get out of office. Come on, bro. Like, you're doing too much. Like, I don't want him to concede. I don't want Trump to.
You want him to drag him out.
So in other words, you want to see another episode of this bad reality show that we looking at. You just wanted to just continue.
Squeeze it for all it's worth.
He's doing that.
Because the thing about it is, when Biden's in office, I don't want to care about politics.
Right.
Trump makes you care. Like, this guy is nuts.
What is he going to do next? Yeah.
Man,
yeah. What is he going to do
he's
next?
nuts, man. I like, come on, like.
In a major way too.
Give me one more good episode.
Things he done was Muslim bans. You can't. No Muslim can come back in the country. Can you believe that?
And as they say, this is one of the most voting people voted. Ever. And you would think maybe more turnout for Obama. This was more than Obama.
Yes,
more people. And that's how, even though he got 70 million
votes.
And just think how much Biden got to over
75. 75 million.
Man, just kill him.
It's just like, man, it's the most ever. You would never think people, like Kendall said people would want to come out to
People's hate what?
do
They
this,
hate
this
this
stuff.
guy.
Oh yeah, but a lot of people's letting. If you look at Fox News, I would never look at Fox News, but if you,
You
look
know
at guys
what?
like
I do. I've been looking at
election
Sean
election,
Hannity,
but they turned it on him though.
election night.
Yeah, he's
I
mad
watched
at him now.
Fox. I wanted to see how they covered that. Like I watched Fox
Yeah, I
all
did too.
election night.
I just don't.
man.
They-
It was awesome.
They tried to put up a fight, but as slowly but surely, you see they turning on him now.
Mhm. Fox News is.
Yeah, and he even
Yeah.
mad at him right now.
Mhm.
He's mad because they
Yeah,
ain't
he's
treating him
he's
and
beefing
stuff.
with Fox right now.
So he's mad at him right now because they slowly but surely is
Sean
turning.
Hannity got a big following. I don't know if he's mad at it or not, but he needs to be. Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, people like this, undercover racists. Really, that's what they are. They don't use the N word, but they're undercover racists.
Right.
You know, they get mad with Obama and made a big stink out of Obama because when he saluted, he had to
the coffee
cup, and he kind of saluted with the coffee cup. Sean Hannity had a fit.
He had a tan suit on. They had a fit.
Yeah, that's wrong. Yeah, with his suit, the type of suit he wore. Now Trump saying things on recording, caught red-handed, grabbed the women by the blank.
Bruh.
No one said anything. I could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue, blah blah blah. No one said anything. And matter of fact, Barack Obama would have been impeached if he'd have done half the things Trump have done.
Half a fraction.
Yeah, a fraction of the things Trump have done, you know. And a lot of people believe in this clown. A lot of these
The
right
rest of
wing
the clowns is they like a circus. So
yeah. Well, folks, once again, my name is Jake Broom, and I'm here with On Point Kendall Davis and LAG. And it's been an interesting Friday night. Now, we won't be here next Friday. We got some special events going on. But after that, we'll be here each and every Friday night at 7:30. And we want you guys to join in, have a good time with us. We want you to share, like, subscribe, and
hit
all of
that
that.
bell.
Hit that bell. Yes.
And tell a friend. It's brought to you by Urban Solution. On Point, it's a new thing, and don't give up.
Don't give up.
All right. And make sure you guys tap into all the other shows that we have
Throughout the week.
Sunday we got the Sunday show, and then Wednesday we got You're On with Melissa Jones and myself, and then right back at it. Oh, we got the cocktail lounge on Thursdays.
Thursday, the cocktail
Thursdays.
round. Mhm.
And right back to the Kings of the Round Table. So tap into everything that we got for you.
Thank
a
you
lot
so
of new
much.
shows
Yes.
coming up. So
We got
stay
some
tuned.
new shows coming up, so stay tuned for that. And thank you for joining us. And have a good night, folks.